Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Saturday morning. What a blessed morning to have with you today. This is another day that we're coming back to you from taking the next step. Our team here has been just excited about having you and sharing time with you in these mornings, tea time. Maybe we should call this tea time on Saturday, and you're able to have breakfast and be with family and come around the TV screen or the camera and watch these sessions. And these sessions have just been a blessing to not only ourselves, here at Take the Next Step in the Cheeks group. It's been a blessing to us, but I know I've been seeing and hearing, and people have been seeing us, and they've been telling us how they have been blessed by this information. And we're just going to keep on going. We're just going to keep going and keep delivering. Today is, as we've been talking about what's in your hand, we're kind of like starting to transition away from that topic in a sense. So some of you, Mark, I know you're going to be like, what? You're moving from what's in your hand. So, but we're still talking about uh, biblical personal development. We're going to continue to talk about self leadership and how important that is. And it's interesting when you say self leadership. I think some people don't think that that's biblical. Good morning, Karen. I think people think that's not biblical, but it is biblical. And throughout these sessions, we're going to show you how personal development and self leadership is something that God wants you to be aware of and to take advantage of in our walk with Christ. So today I got a couple of I got a bunch of stuff. I won't keep you long, but I do have a lot of stuff I want to talk about before we get started. As people start to come in, I see you coming in. Good morning. Good morning. The first thing is, man, there's so much stuff. We are going to be talking about. I have some books here that I want to mention. One book. I was at work the other day, just yesterday. No, it was the day before yesterday. I was at work, and one of my colleagues was reading a conclusion of a book, and I was like, man, that sounds like some good stuff. No, I kid you not. This happened just 2 days ago, and as he was reading it, he was standing and reading it. And I was like, man, that sounds pretty good. And I saw the book cover, and you know what he was reading? He was reading Not Another Workout by Antonio Cheeks. Man, I was floored. And he was getting into the book. Quick little easy read. That is on Amazon if you are interested in something like that, how to really take your wellness to the next level, not just in working out. As my years in the fitness industry, one thing I saw was that people were working out a lot, no progress. And the gym was going to keep taking their money. But there was a key to really being successful with your health, and it's in that book. So you can find it on Amazon and some other places out there, but it's called Not Another Workout by yours truly. That is good. The second thing I wanted to tell you about is I want to highlight this gentleman named Dr. Johnny Parker. He may be watching, he may or may not, or he may watch it later in the replay. But Dr. Johnny Parker has been a really significant player, or let me just say that he's been a great friend in the life of Karen and myself. And he actually presided over our wedding 15 years ago. And he has a new book. Now, when I'm telling you about some stuff today, I am not an affiliate. This is not an affiliate thing or anything like that. But I just think when I see something that's really good, I want to share that with the people that are watching. And he didn't ask me to do this, but he has a new book out called Front Stage, Backstage. And it's about leadership, but it's also about personal leadership as well. And it's about how we show up. I'm so excited. I'm talking so loud. Y'all can tell me to calm down. Why don't y'all say something in the comment? Tell me to calm down. I just get excited. But he's talking about, life as a play, life as a stage, and we get an opportunity to participate in this story called our life. And then, but the one thing I like about it is that he talks about how we show up. And sometimes we don't show up in a holistic fashion. We show up, let me just say this, we show up fake. we had what we show the world, and then we have our real life, which is what he calls the backstage. And the backstage is where we need to do some work so we can have a better and a more holistic front stage. So I just wanted to mention that as you can just pick it. I know it's on Amazon. I have link in the subscription, not in the description on YouTube. You can see that. I don't know if it show up on the other platforms, but you can see that. Also, and I'm just doing this while people are coming on. No big deal. We won't get into the lesson. Also, we found this book. I was looking at this book and I said, that's looked like a pretty good book, because when people have thoughts that they want to write down real quick, and you know who wrote this book? The one and only Deaconess in Training, y'all. Karen Cheeks wrote this book. And here's the thing. It's called My God Ideas, Write the Vision Journal. It's a Write the Vision journal. And I can't tell you where to get it at yet. So you got to stay you got to stay tuned to get that. And so that book will be available. I said, people will love to have that, because even myself, I'm like, man, that's a good idea. Is that a God idea? And to be able to track my ideas and to be able to go back and see how God has answered your prayers and work those ideas out. So we're gonna stay tuned. We'll tell you where you can get that at. And last two things. We're about to kick off our spiritual gift class. We're at the First Baptist Church of Glen Arden, where we teach that once a year right now. So that's getting ready to kick off. So if you're interested in doing that, that's link is in the description as well. I think class is filling up. And so we're going to be starting on a Wednesday night in March. I think it starts March the 5th. We'll clear it up for you. But March the 5th, you can sign up, and we're going to walk through spiritual gifts and learning how God has created you and what special gifts God has put in you, so you can be the best that you can be for the kingdom, and have also this joy in knowing what you're called to do well and how you're made to do it. So that's coming up as well. You want to definitely jump in on that. I think that's all I have for right now, as far as stuff I wanted to add. Lastly, let me know in the comments whether you're looking at this live or in the replay. We're about to start some personal development, self-leadership coaching, and not recorded coaching, live coaching. And we're probably going to do 2 sessions a month coming up real soon. We'll let you know when that opens up, and you'll be able to join that. And it's coaching, but from a biblical twist or biblical perspective. And it's not easy. I mean, we're in your face. We're going to challenge you on some areas, because we have to challenge ourselves as well. And we're going to share that journey together through some coaching. It's going to be a nominal cost for it. Don't even worry about it. It's like a cup of coffee or something like that. We just want to get the service out there. We're going to charge enough to maintain the systems and stuff that we have. Don't even worry about it. You'll be able to take care of it if you're interested in that. Hey, put that in the chat or the comments whenever you reading this or viewing this, and let me know if that sounds like something you're interested in. And we'd love to know that. So don't be shy. We're trying to get data so we can make sure we serve people better. So instead of just looking and telling me later that it's great, say something now so we can gather some data. Appreciate you. Love you. Let's get into the lesson today. All right. So we've been going through what's in your hand, and we talked about how God is concerned. God is really concerned about what's in your hand. And we talked about how do we get it out there? How do we discover what's in our hand? How do we start developing what's in our hand? And now today we're going to say now it's time to deploy that into the world. And it's very simple, but we're going to talk about that. So let's just refresh a little bit here and see what the Lord has said. He said, whatever you do, work it with all of your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. This is as you're learning now to give to the world what you are discovered, through serving, through discovering how you are wired on those things that speak to you. We need to understand, myself included, we need to understand that we're not serving, as to human masters. We're working as unto the Lord, and we should give it the due diligence. It's funny, I like you said, whatever. When I see that, you know what it sounds like to me? It's like, do something. Do something. Don't just sit. Do something. Get off the sideline. Get off the benches. Get into the game. And I believe you will be greatly rewarded for your service. I do. I really do. And so you want to get in and serve as if Christ is right there beside you, and Christ is beside you as you're going through this. That's an important thing. Don't think that you're doing this on your own. That might be important for you to know as you begin to serve and deploy your gifts to the world. Do something. That's something you got to do. All right, so let's get in. So how do you do that? So I just wanted to let you see this here, and that is, I want you to dream big and be okay with winning small. A lot of time people don't appreciate the small little victories, and I think probably also in Dr. Parker's book he might even talk about that. Oh, speaking of Dr. Parker, if you're listening, sir, I think we might I don't know when, but we might go through your book. And if we're gonna go through your book as a weekly topic for a few weeks, um, man, brother, I think you got to come on here so we can interview you and have some and chop it up. So just food for thought. If you're hearing this, food for thought. Be ready to come on and be here with the people as we go through your book, which means that they would have to have your book so we can have a meaningful discussion. Anyway, dream big, but win small. I used to say this, man, I've been saying this for years, but what we do is we miss out or we overlook the small things that happen, the small victories that we have. We don't count them as being significant. But the Bible says, do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. Stop right there. So remember in the last, dream, I said do something. The Lord rejoices to see the work begin. So just start. Don't try to don't try to make sure, is it the perfect thing? Am I in the right thing? Am I doing exactly? That's what people get trapped up on or tripped up on. They say, am I doing exactly what God has called me to do? Don't do that. Do something. God is trusting you to make a move. God is trusting you to make decisions, just like he gave Adam the opportunity to name the animals. God is trusting you to make a decision. Do something. Don't be so burnt out. Oh, I'm gonna make a mistake. You might, but God is gonna see it finish. It's gonna finish. It's gonna be all right. And it says, okay, sometimes I'll just be going off on a rant. Let me get back. For the Lord rejoices to see the work begin, to see the plumb line in Zerubbabel's hand. I went through that name, but anyway, I had to stop here for a moment because I saw something that reminded me of my childhood, and that was the plumb line. The words, the plumb line. Do y'all know what that is? Put that in the chat if y'all know what a plumb line is. I have two versions of the plumb line in my mind. One is in the biblical text here. The plumb line. I'm gonna wait for y'all to. I don't want to give y'all the answer. Let me hold on for a second. Do y'all know what the plumb line is? Somebody put it in the chat. Let me know. And then let's talk about it. Okay, I'll give you a minute. If you're looking at the replay, let me know what you think the plumb line is. So anyway, so the plumb line was used. It was a string that in this Bible verse here, this plumb line was a string that had a weight at the end of it. And the weight, this is how they were able to determine if something was straight, if a stone was laid straight. Because the line would take the weight would take the line and make it straight, and it would make a straight vertical line, and then you could see and line the other. So like when you're placing the cornerstone, you could make sure that it's weighted and straight. And then when you want to make a cut, y'all ever heard the thing measure twice, cut once? Those of you who are in carpentry and stuff like that, y'all, that might be a term you're familiar with. But you take the plumb line, and so when you have a plumb line, that means something about to start. So that's why the Lord rejoices to see the work getting ready to begin. It's getting ready to start. And so God is going to rejoice when he sees you and I start the work that he's put in us. So let's get started. The other story of the plumb line, when I learned about a plumb line from people laying carpet. back in the day. So to have carpet on your floor back in it, now everybody got wood flooring and stuff like that. That's the big thing. But when I was coming up, to have nice plush carpet was like the rave. It was like the big thing. And uh, Mr. Bob, I remember I had there was a guy in our lives, my aunt's father, Mr. Bob Hammond. When he would lay a carpet, he would have the plumb line had it was a line with chalk on it, chalk on it, and they would snap the plumb line. Come on, y'all know what I'm talking about. They would snap the line, and the plumb line would leave a mark on the carpet, so they'll know where to cut. Y'all don't remember seeing that? That's for me. That's the first time I saw anything to do with a plumb line. They said, "Yeah, I got a plumb line." They would pluck it, and it would snap, and it would leave a line along the trail there, so they knew where to cut. So that's one thing. God wants you to enjoy the beginnings. He wants you to get started, and God. I mean, can you imagine making God rejoice? Imagine you're putting a smile on every. So I want to put a smile on your face. You make God smile when you would just get started doing something. Stop doubting and start doing. Uh-oh. I think that's a phrase that needs to go in the chat. Stop doubting and start doing. Tweet that. Put that out on a t-shirt. Stop doubting, start doing. I need to write that down. I know it's gonna be in the chat. I know somebody's gonna put it in the chat. Stop doubting, start doing. You can't lose by doing if you're doing the right things, the honorable things. All right, next we want to set clear goals. Now, on this segment right here, I'm not really talking about SMART goals. I think those are important that you do SMART goals. But I think in the beginning here, we might want to just determine what area of influence do we want to be in. So, like, for example, like what area do you want to focus in? So years ago, Karen and I was trying to figure out, here's a good example. Did we want to build a business, or did we want to work solely in ministry? And we struggled back and forth because we had business experience, but we also had this ministry experience growing. So we had that as well. So we were like, well, what do we do? Is it business or ministry? Is it fitness and wellness, or is it personal development? You know, back and like what? So I think for many of us, we just need to set a goal about who we want to serve. I think that's a better way of saying it. Who do you want to serve? So maybe that's something too. Who do you want to impact? Who do you want to have influence with? Who and what lane do you want to have authority in? What lane do you want to have authority in? Because remember in Genesis 2, they talks about us having dominion. So dominion means to have authority over a particular area. And so we need to, when you want to set a goal, am I going to work with children? That's huge. So that'll immediately stop you from being all over the place. That was me. Younger, I'm chasing all over here, all over there. So you need to set goals. And I'm not talking about the deep goals. I think in the beginning, you just need to know what lane do you want to be in? What lane do you want to be in? I think you need to be clear about that. Do you want to work with women? Do you want to work with men? Do you want to have working with men, young men? You just need to decide, and it's difficult to decide. But I think with prayer and time alone, I think this is something that I was in a meeting with Dr. Parker. I mentioned earlier. He was saying sometimes you just need to get alone and stop hearing all the noise. Stop all the noise that's distracting you from clarity. And so getting by yourself, and I know a lot of time we ask a lot of people, what do you think I should do? Should I do this? Should I do that? And sometimes you just need to get away and don't hear anything. As a matter of fact, Karen and I, we're thinking about we need some time to just slow down and think and let the Lord speak to us. God is speaking. The thing is, are we listening? Uh-oh. Did I step on somebody's toes on that one? God is speaking. The question is, are we listening to God? All right. So next, what we want to do is another way of getting your hands out there in the community is to know that your network is your net worth. So people you are connected with, you don't know, having being able to connect with people. I think these are social skills. Having social skills. These are this skill right here, being able to network with people. Introvert, extrovert doesn't matter. You need to have people in your circle that can push you along, that could probably even open up doors for you, that may know somebody who can get your hands out into the community. So you need to know that. I remember on several occasions. I remember on one occasion in particular, I was with a company and left the company. And you know how it is. Sometimes you get out there, you think you got it going on, and then you're like, man, I need a job. And so you go back to work. So I applied for a job with the company that I left. You following me? I applied for a job to the company that I left because I left because of lack of emotional intelligence. That's another story. That's another time. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to emotional intelligence. Um, Maybe in a couple of weeks, Karen will share some stuff she's learning about emotional intelligence. We'll see what happens on that. But I left. But anyway, I put in to apply back. The HR director, who I had a great relationship with, y'all got to hear this. I had a great relationship, and I was a top performer. I had my work, I would say, was a sense of excellence. There was excellence in my work because I love what I was doing. That's why knowing about what's in your hand and your gifts and things like that is important. Because when you work in your divine assignment and how God has made you and wired you, you will enjoy your work. And when you enjoy your work, you will be excellent at it. So anyway, so I go and they call me in. They say, Antonio, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm just checking out to see, what's going on. And she said, you wanna come back to work? I said, yeah, I think so. She said, well, go to work. Do y'all know, because of my network, I did not have to fill out any paperwork. I did not have to interview. We just had a brief conversation, and she said, go back to work. Matter of fact, go over to this is your location over there. That's where you're going to be stationed at. I was like, wow, this is crazy. But y'all that got to understand the importance of your network. Y'all hear me? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Your network is your net worth. I don't even know if I spelled that right. But anyway, y'all get the gist of it. Next, just start to offer your service. So again, this goes back to your services or your talents or your skills or your product. If you are product driven, you say, hey, I feel God is calling me to create a product. Well, you can't be a secret agent. You got to let people know who you are. And you do that by offering your service. Start today. Think about family members and friends. Now I said offer. I didn't say sell or anything like that. I said I think what you need to do is get some reps in. So just start offering what's on your heart. Just start serving from your heart. That's how you're going to get your hands out there. That's how you're going to deploy what God has given you. And you'd be amazed how when people just see you offering the service, people will say, "Hey, how can I sow into your work? What can I give you? I want to support what you're doing because you do it with such excellence." So just start offering your service. Now, y'all pick that up. Just start somewhere. Start offering. Let's experiment with somebody. Say, "Hey, look, I want to try this out. Can I just practice with you?" Because you got to get in reps. You got to see where you're stumbling at, what your pitfalls are, and things of that nature. So just start offering your services. So what that'll do for you, start giving you tactical feedback. I like, you know what? I gotta write that word down because you know how people say tactical. You know how people say you need to have critical what criticism or do you mind any feedback? But if you know that the feedback is tactical, I mean that's a different way of looking at it. That means you're going to use that feedback in a tactical way to get better at what you're doing. It's more of a strategy. Man, that's gonna be my new phrase. I'm gonna ask people, can you give me some tactical feedback? As a matter of fact, I'm gonna ask you right now, over the last several weeks here, what we've been doing, can you give us some tactical feedback? Can you give us some that you say constructive feedback. Somebody put in the chat, they can't put in the chat. Yeah, that's what you did. Can you give me some constructive feedback? I'm gonna go with, can you give me some tactical feedback? I like that. So y'all can do that now. Y'all have the power to give tactical feedback so we can strategize and get better. So offer your service. Now, one way you can offer your service is to leverage online platforms. Since COVID, okay, before COVID, I never saw myself doing something like this. Never saw myself, being on online community, talking to a camera, stuff like that. I just didn't see that because I love the people. I love being around people and I love feeling the energy with people. But when we got forced into doing this, I had to come up with a way to leverage technology, leverage the platforms in a way that I can get something from it and you can get something from it so that it will be interactive, that it will, give you something that you could look at so you could, see me in a way that would almost be like if we were in person, being able to make eye contact with you and things like that. I invested in that because I had to find a way to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Did y'all just pick? Oh my God. I had to find a way to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. And now I love the online platform because I can do things that I never thought. Also, your reach is expanded. These online platforms, pick one and master that one. But people can now see you and your gifts and your talents and your services around the world. Which before it would just be your goal would try to be be known locally maybe or in your neighborhood. People would know your services and stuff like that. But now you can take your services around the world. So try online. I know it can be nerve wracking. It is a skill that you have to. You don't just get on the platforms and think you're going to be great. I have and still do mess up and fumble around with things. You just got to keep practicing. Even like this, I don't just push the button and just stand here. I actually have been here like, days before, making sure everything is going to work right. You got to work, you got to practice. It's not like it's just going to happen automatically. So leverage these platforms. One of the reasons why you want to leverage these platforms is again because of your exposure, your reach. You can reach far more people, whether it be in ministry or the marketplace, than trying to drive around to each place. And someone, will share your information. And if you do enough of these online platforms, people will invite you to the in-person platform. Isn't that crazy? So even though COVID got us away from doing a lot of in-person stuff is coming back. But this online platform is not going away. Being able to connect with people online is not going away. As a matter of fact, some of the classes we teach totally online. I just can't imagine driving to a location to teach when we can just come downstairs, hit play, and give people the same amount of information. I just don't see why I would drive around the Beltway. If you live in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you don't have to get on that Beltway to do anything, that's a plus. So that's one thing. Leverage online platforms. The other thing we can do is stay committed. Um, when things don't go your way, you want to make sure you stay committed. Stay for the long haul. Stay for the long journey. That's why it's important to know who do you want to serve. Because if you're serving the wrong people, the wrong genre, or doing the wrong type of work, you won't have the commitment to it. You won't have the the want to stay in there for the long haul. So you kind of gotta like what you're doing a little bit, right? There got to be something redeeming in what you're doing that you like as well. So that's important to have. As a matter of fact, we should be confident of this very thing, that he who has begun. Let me just keep reading because I want to break something down. That he who has begun a good work in you will complete it to completion until the day of Jesus Christ. So that being confident is assurance, knowing. There's certain things you just know. Like when you sat in the chair today, if you sat down in the chair this morning, you were confident that that chair was going to hold your body weight. You didn't pick the chair up. You didn't inspect it. You didn't spin it around 3 times. You just sat down because you was confident in it. And so that confidence built, you have this assurance that things are going to work. And then when you have assurance, it builds perseverance. That's why you can stay the long haul. You can stay the course. But I like also in here that when it says has begun, God has already begun the work. God has taken the first step. Again, we're trusting in God. We want to say, can I trust you, Lord? Can I trust you, Lord? And God is like, well, can I trust you to be obedient to do what I ask you to do? Can God trust you? That's the question for the week. Can God trust me? Can God trust me to do what he's asked me to do? I think that's what I had in that one. So God has taken the first step. Now it's time for us to take a step. And take that step being confident and have assurance. And that assurance will build perseverance. And then we get to, therefore, we also, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. Here we go again, endurance. Looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith. So in there it has a couple of things. It says, lay aside every weight. So in this scripture, the word weight is any impediment, anything that entangles you, anything that interferes or delay you from taking action. Now I say a thing, but it could be person, place, or thing. It could be your environment. Is the environment you're currently in conducive, or is it one that helps you grow? One of our leadership classes is creating an atmosphere for spiritual growth. Like, is the atmosphere available for you to grow? And if not, maybe you're in the wrong environment. You know, are you around the right people that is helping you? Are the people weighing you down so you can't move? So I'm not saying you have to put people aside, but maybe you need to make sure you have times where you can actually move forward. And so again, being by yourself, being quiet, and just doing the work. So, you know, the thing that I heard somebody say that is consistency is better than intensity. So what we have a tendency to do, I know I've done this, like, oh, I'm going to do, hey, man, y'all got to watch me now. I'm going to do this, and there's no consistency. There was intensity in the beginning, but if I don't have the consistency to go with that, then it's going to fade away. So we got to make sure that we don't have anything that's weighing us down that would prevent us from finishing the race. That's how we deploy what's in our hands. Whew. That's a lot. That's a lot of information. I am open for questions, comments, or concerns. Again, that tactical feedback, let us have that when you get a chance. I just want to encourage you as we go forward, as you go, on with your day to day, to remember those things. Can God trust you? Are you willing to do the necessary work? Have you heard? You've heard. Some of us have heard from the Lord, and we're just not moving. So if God can't trust you with the small things, how can He bless you with even more? So I maybe you will follow me. I'm trying to get better at the obedience part. When I hear from God, being able to just step in to what He has asked me to do, what God has asked me to do. I'm trying to do that. So if y'all want to keep us, accountable, we can do that together. Again, I'd like to have your feedback on the coaching that's coming up. And it's not gonna be like this. It's gonna be live where we're able to talk back and forth. And I'm not gonna give you a recorded version of me. I'm actually gonna be there talking. So I'll just stay tuned. You'll hear more, and you'll see the calendar open up for the coaching. It's not gonna be one-on-one coaching. It's gonna be more of a group type coaching situation, and We're going to go through that starting very soon, very soon. You'll see that something about that in the next couple of weeks as we structure that up. And we're going to do that around how do I lead myself better? How do I lead myself more holistically? How do I show up as a healthier version of me? How do I be all that I'm called to be? We're going to coach through that, and we're going to take that journey together. Let me know your tactical feedback on that. Don't forget the books that we talked about, Front Stage, Backstage, Dr. Johnny Parker. Again, this is not an affiliate thing. I don't, I just thought I would do it. See that? I did put a link, and it's a nasty looking link. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to linking stuff. It just looks terrible. I don't know how to give a short link or nothing like that. Click the link. It goes to them. The spiritual gift class is about to start. There's a link to that in the description as well. The book, Not Another Workout. It's a quick read. It goes right into some tactics that you can use to be more productive in your workout and your health. You can get that. That's like pennies. And then coming is My God Ideas. Write the Vision Journal by yours truly, Karen Cheeks. I got to get on about it. I'll say, what in the world? That book is here. So anyway, that's it for us today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed yourself. We're not done. We're just finished with what's in your hand. We're gonna again, Mark, I'm sorry. We gotta do some more things. Dr. Parker, be prepared to come on here and talk to the people, quick interview. And we may use your book to go. We might go through your book. I got several books we're gonna go through. I'll let you guys know what books we're going through, so we all can be better at what we're doing. So anyway, that's it for me today. We're gonna go ahead and start the rest of our Saturday. Get that going. I feel a breakfast spirit coming on. Don't know what breakfast is gonna be, but I feel that coming on. I hope you enjoy your breakfast. We are out of here until next time. Again, anytime you have a question, comment, or concern, just let us know. We will get back to you. If you have a question, we'll answer that question. So just let us know. All right. Well, that's it for us today. See you next Saturday. God willing, we'll see you next Saturday, and we'll move on. I'll let you know what the topics are in the middle of the week. All right, now, take care. Talk to you real soon. Goodbye.